Hello and welcome back. This is another fourth and fifth grade multiplication video where our focus is going to be on how to multiply by three-digit numbers. Okay, here is our first one, 584 times 117. Okay, so throughout this series of videos, I've been showing you how to multiply in different ways. We had the standard algorithm, we had the box or area model, and we also had the partial product way. Unfortunately, when these numbers start getting bigger and bigger, if we're going to use the box or area method or the partial product method, these things start to get a little bit, they'll still work. It's just you have a lot of numbers to multiply together and then add together in the end. And I just kind of run out of room on the screen really to show it all. So what I'm going to do is I will show you how you could break it up for the different methods, but to actually solve this, I'm going to show you using the standard algorithm because that is like probably the best way to keep it all kind of in one place and together. Okay, so if I was going to use, say, the box method for this, what I would do is I'd start with the 584 and break it up by place values. So 5 in the hundreds place, 8 in the tens place represents 80, and 4 in the ones place. Then I would make a box under it and give it 3 columns, one for each place value. I would also have to break up this number into place values. So 1 in the hundreds place is 100. 1 in the tens place is 10, and 7 in the ones place looks like that. And then I would have to give it 3 rows. So you can see right away that I'd be able to fill in all those boxes, but I wouldn't have room to add it all together on the screen. So that's why I'm not going to show it, but that's exactly how you would set it up and you would complete it. So instead, I'm going to show you with the standard algorithm. So let me delete that. Now with the standard algorithm, we always put the number on top that has the most digits. In this case, they both have the same amount of digits. So it really doesn't matter which one you put on top, but just for consistency, I'm going to put 584 on the top and 117 down here. Okay, so I'm going to start by multiplying everything in the top by the 7 that's in the ones place, but I'm going to start with the ones place and move my way the other way, just like you would if you were adding or subtracting. So 7 times 4 is 28, which means the 8 goes down here and the 2 gets regrouped. Then I would multiply 8 times 7, which is 56, and add the 2 here. So that would give me 58. Leave the 8 here and regroup the 5. Then I would do 5 times 7, which is 35, plus 5, which gives me 40. So the 0 here and the 4 up here. And that 4 is going to fall straight down with nothing to hold it. So now I've completed the first row where I've multiplied everything by the number in the ones place at the bottom. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to scratch this out because I'm done. And I definitely have to add a 0. So you don't have to remove all your markings like I do, but you absolutely have to add a 0 to show that now you're multiplying by a number that's in the tens place. So 4 times 1 is 1. Oh, no, it's not. 4 times 1 is 4. 8 times 1 is 8, and 5 times 1 is 5. So that is the second row. So I didn't have to do any regrouping there, so I'm just going to go ahead and cross that off. But this time I have to add 2 zeros down here because now I'm multiplying by a number in the hundreds place. So notice the digit in the hundreds place is the same digit I just multiplied by. So that means I can go ahead and rewrite that product that I got on the top. But if I want to just go ahead and go through the steps, it's fine. 4 times 1 is 4. 8 times 1 is 8. And 5 times 1 is 5. So I'm going to go ahead and add these together now that I'm done. That would be 8. This would be 12. That would be 12 plus another 1, giving it 13. Oh, this one's going to be a doozy. Okay, so 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. Okay, not as bad. And then 10 plus 8 is 18. So an 8 here, and a 1 here, and then a 6 there. So the final answer to this, no matter which method you choose to use, would be 68,328. Okay, here is the next one. So again, I'll show you how you could set this up using maybe the partial product way or the box or area method. You would split up 785 into 780 and 5 and put that on top, then create a box under it and split up 307 into 307. So you have 0 tens, so you don't need any tens there. Okay, for standard algorithm, I'm going to go ahead and write 785 times 307. Okay, so again, I'm going to have to start by multiplying everything on the top by the 7 in the ones place. So 5 times 7 is 35. Split that up and put the 5 here and the 3 up here. 8 times 7 is 56. 56 plus 3 is 59. So the 9 would go here and the 5 would go up here. 7 times 7 is 49. And then I would have to add 5 to that. And the reason I'm doing this is over here is because sometimes it's hard for us to regroup in our head when we're adding. So I like to see it visually. So that is 14 plus 1, 54. So a 4 here and a 5 here. And that 5 is just going to slide right down and land right there. So there is my first partial product. I'm going to go ahead and erase these. And maybe I can erase this too, because I may not need it. And then I'm going to cross this off and add a 0. Okay, so now that shows I'm multiplying by a number that's in the tens place. Well, guess what? The number in the tens place is 0, which means that everything on top there, the 7, the 8, and the 5, all times 0 is going to be 0. So I can just go ahead and cross that off and add another 0. That shows that now I'm going to multiply by a number that's in the hundreds place. So I kind of eliminated the need to have 2 rows. And you can do that as long as you show the proper amount of zeros when you get ready to multiply for the next row. So 5 times 3 is 15. So I'll split that up. 15, there we go. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 1 would be 25. So the 5 goes here and the 2 goes here. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 plus 3, plus 2 is 23. So a 3 here and a 2 here. Now my last step is to add these together. So I get 5, 9, 9, 10, 4, and 2. So my final answer to this one would be 240,995. And if you chose to use a different method, that's completely fine, like the box method or the partial product method. You just have to make sure that, that you get the same answer. Okay, here is our next one. Again, we're going to use a standard algorithm for this one, but if you were going to use the box or area method, you'd have to split the 416 into 410 and 6. And then along the side, after you put your box, you would have 540 and 6. Okay, just wanted to show you what that would look like, just in case that's the method you decided to use. Okay, so we're going to do 416 times 546. Okay, let's start with multiplying everything on the top by the 6 on the bottom. 6 times 6 is 36, so split that up, put the 6 here and the 3 up here. 1 times 6 is 6, plus 3 would be 9. 4 times 6 is 24, so I'd put the 4 here and the 2 up here. That 2 is going to slide right down and land right there. Okay, so I'm done multiplying by 6. I'm going to go ahead and take those away and add a 0. That shows that now I'm multiplying by a number in the tens place. So 6 times 4 is 24, so I'll put a 4 here and a 2 up here. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 2 is 6, so I'll put that 6 there. And then 4 times 4 is 16, so 6 here, 1 up here, but that one's just going to fall straight down with nothing to hold it up there. Okay, let me go ahead and cross that off. If you feel like I'm moving a little too quickly, I encourage you to check out some previous videos where I go more in depth on standard algorithm and go a little bit slower with some smaller numbers until you feel a little more comfortable with this. Okay, so I went ahead and crossed off the 4. I'm going to take these away. Now I have to show I'm multiplying by a number in the hundreds place. So I'm going to add 2 zeros before I start. Okay, now I'm going to do 6 times 5, which is 30. So the 0 goes here and the 3 gets regrouped. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 3 is 8. So I'll put the 8 here. And then 4 times 5 is 20. So the 0 goes here and the 2 goes up here. With nothing to hold it, it's going to fall down in front, just like that. Okay, so let me go ahead and add these up and we should have our answer. This is going to be 6. This is going to be 13. That should be 11. Okay, 6 plus 8 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 16. Plus 1 more is 17. And then a 2 here and a 2 here. So my answer to this would be 227,136. Okay, here is our next one. We're going to take 944 and we're going to multiply it by 120. Okay, so I'm going to take 944 and put it on top, just like this, and 120, just right under there. Okay, let's start by multiplying everything on the top by the digit that is in the ones place on the bottom, which happens to be 0. So anything times 0 is just 0. So if I were to go ahead and multiply that, that entire row would be zeros. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross it off. Now I'm going to add a 0 to show that I had decided to go ahead and start multiplying by a number in the tens place. So 4 times 2 is 8. The second 4 times 2 is also 8. And 9 times 2 is 18. So the 8 goes here. 1 gets regrouped with nothing to hold it up. It's just going to fall down. Okay, so there is my technically second row, but really my the first row that you see on the screen. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. I'm going to cross off the 2. This time I need to add 2 zeros to show that now I'm multiplying by a number in the hundreds place. So 4 times 1 is 4. The second 4 times 1 is also 4, and 9 times 1 is 9. So these are the partial products that I got when I multiplied. I just have to add these together to get my final answer. So 0 here, 8, 12, another 12 plus 1 is 13, and 9 plus 2 would be 11. All right, so there is my final answer, 113, 280. And again, if you decided to use a different method that we've talked about before, totally fine. We should still end up with the same answer. Okay, here is our last one for today's video. We're going to go up and challenge ourselves a little bit to take a 4-digit number times a 3-digit number. So if you were going to do the box or area model for this, or maybe a partial product, you'd want to start by splitting up that 9,297 into 9,297. And then you would split up the second one into 571. Okay, and as you can see, if you were using partial product with this, you'd have a lot of different partial products to be keeping track of. Okay, so your box is going to end up having about 12 squares in it. So I'm going to go ahead and use standard algorithm. 9,297 times 571. Okay, everything on top by the number in the ones place on the bottom means 9297 times 1. Okay, 7 times 1 is 7, 9 times 1 is 9, 2 times 1 is 2, and 9 times 1 is 9. Okay, that was pretty easy. I'm going to go ahead and cross that off, add a 0 to show that now I'm multiplying by a number in the tens place. 7 times 7 is 49, so that means a 9 goes here and the 4 gets regrouped to the next place value. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 4 is 49, so another 9 and another 4 here. Now 2 times 7 is 14, plus 4 would be 18, so the 8 goes here and the 1 gets regrouped. Next step would be 9 times 7, which is 63, and then add 1 gives us 64 here. Okay, so I'm done with all these little numbers on the top. I'm done multiplying by the 7, and now I'm going to multiply by the 5, which is in the hundreds place, so I add 2 zeros to that row. Okay, 7 times 5 is 35, so the 5 goes here and the 3 gets regrouped. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 3 would be 48, so an 8 here and a 4 up here. 2 times 5 is 10, 10 plus 4 is 14, so 4 here and 1 here. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 1 more is 46, so a 6 here, and that 4 is going to fall straight down after we regroup it. Okay, time to add all this up. So we get a 7 here, we get 18 here, so I got to regroup that. Let's see, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 9 is 12, 12 plus 5 is 17. Okay, oh, this is going to be a big one. Okay, so 1 plus 9 is 10, 10 plus 8 is 18. Oh, and then I think 18 plus 8 is 26. Ooh, that's a big one. There we go. We got to regroup a 2. 8 plus 8 is 4, plus 2 would be 10. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. And we get a 5 here. So got to add those commas in. This answer here is 5,306,787. That's a big one. All right, you guys, thank you so much for, wait, hold on. I just checked my answer and I ended up getting something a little bit different than when I originally got when I did this. All right, let's hold on one sec while I double check this. Okay, so when I went back and rechecked it, I realized that I made some kind of calculation error in that middle row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cross off that 5. And this is a good example of how to show you guys when you do get an error, how you can go back and kind of troubleshoot and just try to figure out, like, without having to redo the entire problem again. Okay, so let's take that middle row. 7 times 7. Oh, first we have to have a 0 because we're multiplying by a 7 that's in the tens place. 7 times 7 is 49, right? Okay, so 9 here and 4 gets regrouped up here. Okay, so, and I'm going a little more carefully this time. 9 times 7 is 63 plus 4 would give us 67. Okay, so a 7 here and a 6 up here. Okay, so let me go ahead and take that away. All right, 2 times 7 is 14 plus 6 would give us 20. So 0 here and 2 up here. Okay, and then 9 times 7 is 63 plus the 2 is 65. So a 5 here and a 6 here. Okay, now I'll go ahead and add it up and see if it matches the answer I got when I initially did this. Okay, 7, 0, and 0 is 7. 9 and 9 is 18. So 8 here and 1 here. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 7 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. So a 5 here. Okay, we're looking good so far. It's matching my original answer. 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. So an 8 here and a regroup here. Okay, we're still matching. 1 plus 5 plus 4 would end up being 10. So 0 here and 1 here. Then 6, 6, and 1 is 13. And then we have a 5 here. So let me double check my answer. And yes, now it matches what I originally had. I honestly don't know what happened when I was multiplying that middle row. Maybe you guys can look back in the video and let me know. But no worries. We went ahead and fixed it and we are all good now. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope to see you in another video very soon.